everybody, and welcome back to Project Zomboid, one day at a time. We're going to be rejoining Kristie Faye as she does her third day of surviving, and here's hoping that things go well for her. Kristie wakes up on the third day at 4:50 in the morning. Similar to yesterday, if she remembers correctly. She's hungry, so she heads into the kitchen. She looks over what she has and decides to double check the refrigerator just in case she missed anything. She's got some things, but she doesn't have anything to cook with. No tools or utensils. Everything is gone. So instead she settles on opening up a can of spaghetti for breakfast. She eats it right out of the can, having no pot or anything to heat it up with. For her, it's a little bit like torture, having to eat like this. Trash can not even around, she just places the cans in the hallway. Maybe she'll pick them up later, or she won't. There's no one around to really complain to her, or get on to her for not being 100% clean. She sits down, looks over her items, belongings, and decides that maybe it's time to get a book out to read. Goes over to the bookshelf and she looks over one of the volumes that she's collected from the nearby houses, deciding that more important ones should probably be read first. She picks up a fishing book and grabs it first. Fresh fish is going to be really nice, she thinks to herself as she sits down. Starts reading. She reads and reads, and as she does so, eventually, shows come on. First commercials, though. Today we're building salads on the cooking show. Something very rudimentary and something she knows how to do, but maybe there's a little piece of knowledge that is stuck inside. She takes her time reading about fish, listening to people adding mayo to salads and wondering why. Oh God, why? The show done, she proceeds to continue reading the book. Different techniques on how to string a line. She hears a gunshot off in the distance. Safe in her home, she hopes that it leads people away and she can check more things out after noon. Noon comes by and quickly goes through. Shirtless man on the woodworking show teaching how to do more carpentry. She's getting up there in skill level, but there's a few things more she needs to learn before she can start making different things. However, it seems to be just enough as he continues to get her to learn how to make a few more things. She finishes her fishing book shortly around 1 o'clock and realizes just how hungry and thirsty she is after sitting and reading a book for all morning. She puts fishing away and goes back into the kitchen. Gets something to drink, grabs another can, and decides to go for beans this time. Opening it up and eating it from the can. She's too nervous to really make anything. The few things she could possibly do and throw in the fridge or the oven. She's too nervous about noise and about heat. She steps out front and checks to see if there's anybody new. Seeing no one, she decides to start moving away over and around. She remembers that she never got the stuff from the man's across the street neighbor's kitchen. So she walks over, not bothering to be quiet about it. There doesn't seem to be anything nearby. Gets the pipe out just in case and goes inside, walking straight to the kitchen. She takes everything as she finds, realizing that he has some pots that could be useful. Pours the water out, the contents that were in the pots, with the exception of the one that has soup in it. It hasn't been sitting very long, and it looks like it should be fine. Finds a bowl, a pot, a few other things. More wine and soda pop. Manages to stick everything into her bag, even the pot with liquid in it. Maybe the lid is helping keep it tight. Finds even more cooking pots and saucepans. Fork, a knife, more canned goods. Things she missed in her first time here. Knowing that her place has nothing to clean up with, and knowing that she's gonna have to take care of those cans eventually, he grabs up all the cleaning supplies that are next to the sink and gets a little bit of a drink. Checking the fridge, she finds grapes and beer. Interesting combo. And a few more pieces of meat in the freezer, with some mixed vegetables. She's starting to get to a point where she might actually be able to throw something together. She checks the rest of the cabinets, finding more little odds and ends, pasta, or such things. Granola bar, maple syrup. She starts to head back, having gotten her items for the day from the across the street neighbor. Now she's going to be going to that house next. She makes sure the coast is clear and proceeds to walk right over to her house. Makes her way right to the kitchen and starts putting things away. A ham, of course. She puts the multiple cooking pots that are empty in there. Decides to take the bowl of the pot of soup and throw it into the oven. Onto a burner even. Unfortunately, this game doesn't have workable burners that you can put on. You have to put it in the actual thing. But it's neither here nor there. She takes the odds and ends and starts putting them away in their proper spots, organizing the chaos a little. occasionally checking on the soup. Sure it doesn't burn. It's quiet and peaceful, working on little things here and there. The soup is done, so she takes it off, turning the oven, placing it on the counter. It looks somewhat decent. I might have left it in there for just a little bit too long, but decides to drink it. Fortunately, she only has the one bowl, and she might be able to put some to a bowl. Unfortunately, she doesn't have enough bowls for it all to fit in. She picks up a pot and drinks about a fourth of it. She places the pot of soup back onto the counter and decides to come back for more later. Goes back to putting things away. It being so close to 6, she decides to get another book and go about reading again. This time settling on farming. She works with veggies and fruits all the time, but this is going to be her first foray into learning how to actually grow them. She has some basic knowledge, so she's picked up here and there, but nothing to actually get actual crops growing. She's looking forward to dipping her toes into getting a bit of a green thumb and making fresh veggies and fruits, so that way she can put them in her own cooking. She settles down to read, and time begins to pass. Around 6 o'clock, Exposure Survival comes on. Ian is teaching us something new today. Seems to be fishing today, and combined with the book that she read earlier, the knowledge is flowing through her much faster and easier. With understanding of fundamentals and basics, she quickly decides that maybe she could even spearfish. The concept is simple enough, just a sharp stick and stabbing the fish. It isn't too much unlike stabbing with a knife. She sits there and contemplates that as she reads the rest of her book. A largely uneventful day without even seeing a single zombie. She reads and reads. Then, at around 10 o'clock, gets up, goes and has another thing of soup. Probably polishing the whole thing off since she's so hungry and thirsty now. gets that's done, she puts the pot away. Decides to crawl into bed. A very uneventful day, but restful day nonetheless, full of knowledge and good food. A soup and rest. Thank you for joining us today on Day 3 of Kristie Fay's Survival of the Apocalypse. Hope you have a great day, and see you next time.